state your full name, spelling first, and last. Please speak into the microphone.
Yes, Theodore Edgecomb. That's first name Theodore. Last name is Edgecomb, as in boy.
Were you armed on the night of September 22nd, 2020?
Yes.
Okay. And whose firearm were you in possession of on that evening?
Ruby Mizell's.
Okay. Is that your fiance?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what made you decide to carry it on that specific night?
It was nighttime. It was the weekend too, and crimes are more prevalent like on the weekend. It's a lot more people out. Also too, I know during this pandemic, it was a lot of racial tensions, a lot of just tensions, period. And like I mentioned, like the crime rate was relatively high during that time.
Okay. Now, when you carry this firearm, do you normally carry it fully loaded?
Yes.
And how many bullets would you typically have in that firearm when you carry it?
The magazine held 17.
So on the evening of September 22nd of 2020, did you have 17 bullets in that firearm?
Yes.
Now, you mentioned, now I'm going to mess up this name, I think you called it Froyo or Froyo?
Frozone.
Frozone, okay. Now,
as I'm traveling eastbound on Brady, the traffic, it died down at this moment. I'm on the south side of Brady at this point. So as I abort the mission, cross over to the north side of Brady, and I'm headed westbound at this point.
And what happens at this point? Now you're going, is it eastbound on Brady?
I'm actually headed west now at this point because I aborted the mission. I'm headed westbound because I aborted the mission as far as just going to grab the frozen yogurt.
Okay.
So I diverted from that plan altogether.
Okay. So now you're going westbound on Brady Street, correct?
Yes.
And if you could tell the members of the jury what happens next.
So I'm traveling westbound on Brady, and I go maybe I say about 5 feet, and all of a sudden I hear this horn blowing, and I see this car heading towards me, and I'm thinking that it's this, the vehicle that's headed towards me, that's blowing that horn at me. So I'm thrown off because I brace for impact, seeing this car headed towards me. So as I brace for impact, I'm learning that it isn't the car that's headed towards me that's blowing their horn loudly. It's them. It's the car that it was headed east, and this vehicle almost had a head-on collision with them. So as that vehicle swerves out from having a head-on collision, it's headed towards me, and it's traveling westbound on Brady, but it's in the eastbound lane, and it swerves over from having a head-on collision, and they're headed towards me. So I brace for impact. As I brace for impact, the vehicle just clips me, hits my pedal, hits my leg, and then also hits the handlebar, knocks me onto a parked car. As that, thinking about that as that happens, I've been hit before. A few years back in Florida, I was left in the middle of the street. My bike was mangled, severely injured. The police never found out who the person was who did it, and they never found the vehicle. So all that resonated with me. And as I was hit, a gentleman yelled out the window, excuse my language, he says the N-word and, get the F out of the street. He says it boisterously and boldly, and in such insulting way that I couldn't fathom why this was, why this was even said to me. So when that was done, he said, he said, as he says,
You can say what he said, Mr. Edgecomb.
damn nigga, you can't drive, get the fuck out of the road. And there was an individual on the sidewalk who heard this and seen me get hit. And they're like, whoa, the nerve of that guy. And they asked me if I was okay. I said, yeah, I'm all right. Who's he speaking to? Why is he talking like that? I guess he's talking to me.
Mr. Edgecomb, how did that make you feel?
I was infuriated. I can't lie. It brought back the trauma of when I was hit before. And that's all I could think about because I was left hurt in the middle of the street before. And I'm like, what if these individuals would have just, I could have been killed. What if these individuals would have just killed me then? Then they insulted me. So it was like they had no remorse for what they had just done. I had an insult on top of, injury, and I didn't understand it. In my mind, I'm like, maybe these people are drunk, or something, and, that's the only reason I could think of a person throwing out an insult. And at that time, I didn't, I was just trying to put it together as far as like, why would someone do that? Or why would they, be that bold in taking those actions?
So you're infuriated, correct, Mr. Edgecomb?
Yes.
And what did you do next?
I proceeded west on Brady. I proceeded towards them. Like I said before, the vehicle that hit me years prior to this date, to that date in particular, that trauma resonated with me. So I'm like, I can't let them get away. I'm able to, catch up to this individual at this point in time. And plus, I couldn't make out the vehicle directly because as they were headed towards me, all I seen was their headlights. So it was like blinding me, and I just braced for impact. So upon them, like I said, I wasn't able to see the vehicle directly until they were headed off, and he yelled out the window, and because I was bracing for impact.
Okay, and you mentioned that you tried to catch up with the vehicle, correct?
Yes.
Did you ever catch up with that vehicle on that evening?
Yes.
And what did you do once you caught up with that vehicle?
When I came up to the passenger window, I actually was, riding kind of fast, and as I gathered myself, riding pretty fast, headed to them. Came up to the passenger window and just asked him, hey, were you guys talking to me? And he said, yes, nigga, and I punched him previously, and that I pulled up to the passenger side of.
All right. And did you observe anything prior to this vehicle making a right turn?
Yes. The loud roaring of their motor, tires screeching. All I could hear was, vroom, like these individuals were chasing me down. They were trying to hit me. I knew this deliberately now at this point. I became, fear, came over me, as I heard that. Ahmaud Arbery resonated in my mind because I'm like, these people are hunting me down now at this point. Now they're becoming more bold with what they're trying to do to me. So as far as like hunting me down, and even if, like I said, they didn't show any remorse then for hitting me, now I know, even if they didn't know that they had hit me, now I know that they're deliberately and intently trying to hit me now.
Counsel, if you could continue playing the video at this point.
Judge, just for the record, the timestamp is no longer viewable in this Zoom sequence, so I'm going to refer to the player then, which shows 16 seconds. Playing at 16.
I'm gonna stop right there. Now, Mr. Edgecomb, you just told the jury you were in a bike lane, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, Mr. Edgecomb, are you in a bike lane at this specific frame of the video?
No.
Can you explain to the members of the jury why did you go from being in a bike lane to now being on what appears to be a sidewalk at this point?
I did that because I was escaping from being hit. As I got on the sidewalk, I was fearful, in fear of my life. I knew that these individuals were not, that they were deliberately trying to hit me. I accept responsibility, for punching Mr. Cleereman. I was infuriated for that. Shouldn't have happened. As they were chasing me down, though, I became in fear of my life. I never felt that, amount of fear ever. And so I just wanted to just get away from them altogether.